Hello, hello.
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
What's up?
What up, bro?
What's up, man? I'm glad you can make it.
Yeah, man. Sorry I'm late.
It's all right. Technical difficulties or scheduling, things happen. It's all good. I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm at this house that we're remodeling, so it's empty, and I'm not really doing anything else anyway. So,
Sick, dude. Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah. No problem.
You say you're
I
at
love
work. You got a session you're doing today, or what?
No, not yet. I'm taking walk-ins today, but yeah, pretty much the supply guy came the one time I'm about to do something, so
I got
gotta
you.
love my luck.
I know, I feel you. There's this song I listen to sometimes. It's if it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any at all. You know
Yeah,
what
on God.
I
That's literally it.
mean? Well, cool, man. Well, if you're good with it, and we could just hop straight into it.
Yeah.
Um, for the people who don't know who you are, you want to just introduce yourself and tell these guys a little bit about, who you are and what you do.
Yeah, man. My name is Drew. Uh, I'm from Los Angeles, California. I'm a tattoo artist and body piercer. Um, I'm pretty much well-rounded as far as style. Um, I'm a musician. Yeah, man. Pretty much the gist of it.
Hell yeah, I love it. What do you play?
I play guitar.
Nice. My pops got me my first guitar when I was 10, and actually still have it to this day. It's an old Yamaha. I think it's a YG 400 or
Oh
something like that.
yeah,
It's an
I remember
acoustic.
that one.
I have a ton of other ones. I got like 13 guitars. I don't play much electric anymore. But all the metal that I've been into recently has gotten me want to play some chunky electric. So maybe we'll get into
Hell
that
yeah.
soon.
Hell
But
yeah.
anyway, the first segment of this, I wanted to talk about like identity and origin, stuff like that. So I have some questions there, and then we can
Okay.
go into it just, segment by segment. So the first one
Cool.
is kind of what's your story and who were you before the business or before like you were a tattoo artist or even began tattooing.
Okay, so pretty much before tattooing, I had actually tried to give it a go earlier on in my life when I was 18. The apprenticeship didn't go as planned. It turned into me just hanging around working for free. And yeah, so I didn't tattoo again for about 7 years after that.
Mm.
Um, Yeah, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise because it helped me like jump into music and doing that professionally. So I did that for a lot of years instead. And about six
Yeah.
years ago, I got back into it.
Hell yeah. So do you think that there was a moment growing up that made you feel that like you were destined for like that music and tattoo artist culture or what? Like,
Yeah, man. I'd have to say like I knew my whole life, whether it be like subconsciously or, just like kind of being influenced by it and seeing a lot of it growing up. Um, I always knew like art and tattoos and music was like my destiny.
hell yeah. So how have your roots, like family, where you grew up, maybe some early struggles help shape you to who you are today?
Man, oh, that's a lot. So I grew up with my mom in my life mainly. She was struggled with alcoholism and um kind of, forced me out the house at a young age at 14. So Um, I've been on my own since I was 14 and started my journey pretty early. So, you know, tattooing and everything, kind of like me knowing that's what I wanted to do. I didn't really see any other option. But
Fair enough.
yeah,
Wow, that's crazy. Thank you for sharing that with us. I
yeah, man.
appreciate that. Well, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. I'm a really big believer that some people, especially people that are very negative in our lives are put there for a reason. And it's to learn from and to learn to be different and better. So I think
So,
everybody comes into our life for a reason, whether we realize it at the time or not. I truly do believe that because there's been a lot of times, like even with my own family, where it's like, man, I we don't have to get into that, but yeah, I truly believe that. Well, cool. All right, thanks, man.
yeah.
So as far as business and branding goes, since we can pivot a little bit from there, what inspired
Mhm.
you to start, tattooing, especially after that 7 year gap from your apprenticeship?
So mainly like my art, my art background didn't start in tattooing. I actually have been drawing my whole life. Um, and I've always been really like inclined, like naturally inclined. I've been good at drawing since I was a kid. And I really took, a few times in my life I had kind of like a sit down moment where I had to stop and recalibrate my mind and get back into it. And during those times, like my biggest coping skills were drawing, so
Mhm.
yeah, it kind of was like a reoccurring thing where like something I always went back to. But yeah, I have to say
Cool.
that.
So how do you think your like your own personality and identity shows through your brand or your art? Is there anything distinct that like sticks out?
I'd say yeah, man. Like I've always been really influenced by like dark art and like monsters, creatures, a lot of the concept artists on like from Wizards of the Coast that draw Magic the Gathering cards or Dungeons and Dragons type of stuff. And so I was really into that. And I'd say that, was a recurrent thing, whether it be through video games or anything I was always interested in. So it went from me like trying to draw the stuff I was into like me like having this realization later in life, like, bro, like, why am I not like doing this professionally?
Right.
Like
Yeah,
I
I can
love
make money
doing
off
this.
of
I
this.
do it anyway. So
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, that's kind
yeah,
of that's kind of the whole point, right? Where everybody's like, find your passion and then learn how to get paid for it, right?
absolutely.
Well, that's cool, and that's not easy either. Like that's shit's pretty fucking detailed, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's not easy to draw, let alone tattoo it permanently onto somebody. So, kudos to you. That's cool. So, have you
Thanks,
found
man.
that you've done that a lot? Like, have you been able to tattoo that a lot, or have you just been pretty much tattooing whatever people ask?
So yeah, that's man, at the end of the day, this is a career. So, I've really kept an open mind as far as style and like, I guess direction. I've always been like, susceptible to change and to, what's going on in the industry. So I've gotten really good at a lot of different styles. Um, so I don't get to tattoo as much dark art and dark lettering as I'd like to, but you know, breaking out of that comfort zone and being able to, tattoo fine line or like, other stuff like that, color, like I hadn't always done color. That was something that, I was presented with when I was working with Kevin Bradley at Sea of Ink. He was like, yeah, man, like you're really good at drawing and art in general. He's like, I think you could really like do color. And I was like, well, I don't really want to, I guess, or never thought about it. And he was like, man, he's like, I've seen you turn away multiple tattoos because you don't do color. Like, he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you should like dive into it. I think you do great. And since then, I've been doing color too. So
So what was your worry about the color? Is it you just weren't comfortable with using it and the application of, applying it to the skin and making sure it stayed and stuff like that? Like what weren't you comfortable with?
I'd have to say, I guess like a lot in the industry, I see like people tend to get into certain types of art or certain genres, so to speak, and they think that like that's all they have to do. I'm the type of person that like if I do something, I want to do it 100%.
Yeah.
So at the time, like I wasn't really like prepared to, learn color theory and how to applicate that and how to like, really go into it 100%. And I guess, really all I needed was that push off the cliff.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he
So,
really helped me with that.
oh yeah. So, do you think that's like one branding decision or adaptability aspect of your career that kind of changed things and you saw more growth in? And if not, what was something that you saw kind of boost your career?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even begin to explain how like helpful that was in my career. That was definitely one of the forks in the road, I was kind of caught in a plateau situation where I was doing the same stuff and kind of trying to go off into that direction, but there wasn't really too much I hadn't done in what I was doing. So that really opened up the whole other end of the spectrum I never
Yeah,
saw.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
man.
good on you, man. Yeah, that's not easy. I know a lot of tattoo artists find color hard, especially when it comes to doing it on different skin, right? Because I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, cool.
The guy I was working with actually, Kevin Bradley, he's a phenomenal color artist, man. Like, and so like I would stay with him at night, like, as he's working late on appointments, and he did a lot of really epic, like full arms, full legs, full backs, and watching him do it all the time, I was at the point in my career where I could like I could translate, looking at something and then doing it pretty fast at that point. So it was almost like natural. Like the whole thing had been like for that moment almost. Yeah, it's funny
Hell
how
yeah.
life works.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, not only that, it's like if you want to learn something, you kind of have to put it all in, even if it's just temporarily, so that um, you can not only learn it, but you can be successful at it and whatever
Absolutely.
adventure it is. So, cool. So when this is more of like an adversity and drive.
Hmm.
It's let's see, which one should we start with? Do you think people underestimate what it really takes to build something, especially in the tattoo industry or as a tattoo artist? And what's one thing that people don't see behind the scenes?
Um, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think that yeah, like there's been I feel like a good credo for the industry in general that I found is that, everybody will love your work, but nobody will forget your mistakes.
Mm,
So, like I've been kind of trying to ride that fine line between, learning and making mistakes. And I feel like that's been definitely something that's helped me along the way.
oh yeah. So what's been your like lowest moment on your journey as a tattoo artist, and how would you say you got through it?
Um, oh, that's a deep question. I'd have to say probably like I'm a recovering addict. So, that stigma tends to follow me different places. And kind of breaking out of that whole image was pretty tough. And then, something as serious as tattooing, that's the last thing you want to be associated with.
Right.
So I think pretty much, changing my whole friend group and the type of people I associated with at the same time is still like maintaining my professional, connections and networking and stuff like that. Yeah, that was pretty rough time in my life. I think, just getting along with other artists can be difficult just because there's so many different types of eccentric personalities and everybody feels so strongly about what they're doing and so passionate that it could tend to cause like friction.
Yeah, no,
And
absolutely.
yeah, so I feel like, tattooing has been one aspect, but it goes so much deeper, like your communication skills, branding, marketing, social media. There's like so many like aspects people don't see, like having to really take a step back for a week or two and learn how to do social media. I'm 35, so
Mhm.
it didn't come as natural as some of the younger kids, coming up in the scene right now.
Yeah, for sure. No,
So
on Instagram especially, I see a lot of tattoo artists now. It seems like they do a lot more advertising and promotional videos than tattooing,
yeah,
which I think is the
it does
biggest
seem that
problem.
way.
And I think there's been a weird shift in the tattoo community as far as artists go, where that's more of what they're doing than actual tattoos. And so the kind of like the old school is it's kind of why all the knowledge and quote unquote secrets in the industry I feel like were gate kept for so long because they didn't want it leaked to people like
Like
the
this.
younger, yeah, like that, who are just doing whatever they want when they want and then wondering why they're not getting enough money. So they're like, oh, maybe I should
Yeah.
just post more. Well, no, maybe you should just do some more tattoos.
See, and we're in that weird like dynamic right now where those same people that don't tattoo very much and put everything in the social media are booked out because the way the industry is right now and how
Yeah,
powerful the marketing tool it is.
yeah.
So it's disheartening sometimes.
No, I get it because we're very grassroots in what we're doing right now too.
Yeah.
I mean we're going on publicly advertised like 2 months technically.
Mhm.
So but for something like that with other than word of mouth, the outreach on social media is really our sole platform to drive traffic for sales online and get the brand out there. Because the magazine is the most important part of it. The apparel is really just kind of
I
uh,
agree.
yeah, a compliment to it. Um, but yeah, so I understand how that is. I've
It's
been trying.
amazing.
Go ahead.
It's amazing how far you've came with this whole brand, like in such a little bit of time. It's awesome to see, man. Like,
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's I've reached out. So for our first magazine, I reached out to. Uh, it had to have been at least 500 people, just on Instagram and so other social media platforms and stuff like that, and just copy and pasted DMs to everybody that I thought would be great for the magazine. And this one guy that reached out. I didn't even know it at the time. Dan Dreyer. He reached out.
mm,
He's like, "That sounds great." He hit up my publicist. I was like, "This guy works for Dixon and has a publicist?" And I was like, "Oh no, he's the owner of fucking Dixon Flannel Company." I was like, "Holy
that's
shit!"
so dope.
That was really cool. That was rad. So that was our true first in-person interview, and we drove out to Tempe, Arizona. I hired a videographer and everything, and yeah, we got that done. Do that. So that was rad. But now it's really just we're trying to build that community, right? The community
Yeah.
of tattoo artists, barbers, anybody who's tattooed, runs a business or building a brand or is a independent creator or artist or whatnot. Like this weekend, hopefully, I've been trying to sway this guy. He's kind of on the fence, but he's a Chicano mural artist out of San Diego,
Oh
and
wow.
that would be really cool to have in our magazine. He has a pretty heavy background, like criminal background, so
Mhm.
he's scared it would ruin his reputation in the professional field. So
Mhm.
I got to figure out how to explain to him that we can just focus on the art aspect of it. We don't have
Right.
to. We can maybe leave some of the deep background of that, vague. So, but yeah, no. Other than that, yeah, it's just doing it every day, dude. So putting it out into the universe, actually doing it every day, and working towards a small goal has given us a lot of outreach. That and unfortunately it does take a little bit of money for that too, like running ads on Instagram,
Yeah.
spending the money for other shit. Maybe doing influencer collaborations in the future. I really don't want to do that, not yet, but everything that we've done has been super organic, and that's how I want to keep it. So,
Yeah.
because I think anything outside of that is feels like kind of fake, you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And that's exactly
I,
what I don't want people to think.
I thought that video you made where you were advertising the tattoo shop. I think it was about 2 or 3 videos back. It really just like I was like, man, bro, this is exactly what the industry needs right now. Someone, really like, feet on the ground, going out there and checking these spots out and not advertising them from a really like disconnected point of view, but more so from a, hey man, I'm about to pull up here and see what this is all about type of deal.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool, man. Like,
I know, and that's the thing, right? Because there's so many tattoo shops out here in San Diego that I could get my feet on the ground at, and I want to do that absolutely. But I feel like, I want to do that nationwide. Like I want to be boots on the ground nationwide.
yeah,
I was fortunate enough to do it with that gentleman out of Mississippi because that's where I just moved from. You know what I mean? So that was
yeah,
literally a day before I drove 1,800 miles back to California, and I was lucky enough to secure that interview. But yeah, no, he's rad. And a lot of people don't realize how multifaceted people can be, especially the tattoo artists like yourself. You're a musician, you're a great artist, outside of just tattooing, right? So being able to highlight that for other people across various industries, I think is huge. For example, I got a real estate agent I'm going to be meeting up with next week, and
mhm,
he's fully tatted too. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah,
yeah, I want to hear how you went from here to success here. You know what I mean? And then
absolutely.
somebody else could replicate that kind of formula or mindset into what they're doing every day. But yeah, from an artist perspective, I think it's great. So I really want to be boots on the ground, full time, but it can be expensive,
It
unless
can,
it's
yeah.
unless it's local. So that's why we're doing the Zoom interviews for now, and then anything local will be in person, if given the opportunity. But yes, eventually everything that we do is going to be in person. Every interview, everything. It's just
What
yeah,
part of
expensive.
Mississippi did you move from?
Olive Branch, Mississippi. So it was like
Okay,
like the top of the sip is what they call it. We were about 10-15 minutes south of Memphis. So it was a cool
okay.
little town. I liked it. My plan when I went out there was to buy land and just set a little mobile home on there and save a crap load of money. But
Yeah.
but no lender wanted to touch me at my age because they saw me as a flight risk. But that is what it is. So that didn't work out very well. But I was out there for about 4.5 years, and I liked it. The community was great. The people were super nice. The only bad part about it, I would say, is it's so flat. There's like really no activities to do other than go to the bar, or go to the bar, or
Right.
go to the bar. Which for the first year it was fine. That was
Yeah.
great. And then my kidneys were like, let's, and my liver was like,
Help
let's,
me.
yeah, help. Give me some water, man.
Right. I
Yeah.
actually lived in Biloxi for a while, for a
Oh, well,
few
yeah.
years.
Yeah, yeah. I've had a couple people tell me about Biloxi. I've only been to the casino out there. I've never really explored anything outside of that. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's close to Louisiana, right? That's right on the coast.
Yeah, like an hour away from NOLA.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Louisiana was rad. I went out there for 3 days a couple years ago.
That's
But
a
I went,
wild place.
yeah. Yeah, I rented out this little spot. It was cool. It was called the Fairchild Inn in the Lower Garden District,
Okay.
and it was built in the 1800s.
Oh shit.
Dude, it was so cool. I stayed in this room, no AC, had the box TV from like, 1990, black and gray or whatever. And no, like I said, no AC, but it was perfect. I mean, all it was is a room to sleep in. The other time I was out
Right.
on Bourbon Street anyway. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Oh
All right.
yeah.
Let's dive into legacy and culture.
Oof.
Um, because that's a really big part of kind of what we're doing. I know a lot of people don't think about legacy, but
Mhm.
for me, it's important to me because my last name means a lot to me, and I want to set an example for the kids I might have in the future, and
Mhm.
So I want to build something that is last and people can remember, especially when I'm gone. So with that
Right.
in mind, what kind of legacy are you building or would want to build beyond the money and the hustle itself?
So my biggest, you know, in reference to legacy, um, I want to do like a nonprofit program where it's like an after school program for kids. And whether I be working at my own multimedia art studio or somebody else's, I want to do like a after school program where we can bring different artists from different mediums from all over the world and have them come in and do like a hands-on workshop with kids. I feel like growing up, I was really interested in tattoo art as a whole. And, when I tell people at school that, they were like, oh, well, art appreciation and, painting. And it was really like only one area seemed to be getting like a lot of exposure where like, someone that's interested in tattoos or conceptual art or character designs, could almost be turned off or turned away from art because that's not kind of what they had in mind.
Yeah,
And I want to be able to, give back to the next generation of artists, at a younger age and potentially, keep a lot of kids out of trouble and, I guess like, make an impact in other people's lives. That's my biggest thing.
yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. And that's exactly what we're all about too. I think something like that would be really cool. Um, I was just trying to think because I am hopefully this year going to be putting together a tattoo festival with
Mm.
a tattoo supply company and a dispensary or maybe something else. I'm not sure yet, but I think doing something like that, or doing like a little tattoo convention and, like a private warehouse here in downtown, where
Yeah.
we showcase, art. We have booths up for artists and maybe a section for, for the kids too. That would be cool. But yeah, so what's stopping you from doing that, or at least exploring it more?
So mainly, I guess, kind of where I'm at in life right now in my career is I'm trying to find the home base, man. Like I feel like a lot of times, like I tend to feel like I don't belong.
Mhm.
And I think my biggest issue was being around people that I could trust and people that I vibe with, and you know, people that are all around the same skill level. That way, there's no competition or no like, no unhealthy competition. So I've been trying to, I was with Cleopatra Inc. for about 3, 4 months, and I kind of felt like I was being deprived of that artistic freedom that like I really crave as an artist. Um, and no shade to them. I just it wasn't what I was looking for. And right now I met Brandon. He started Black Matter Tattoo and out here in Colorado, Loveland, Colorado. And he's not as far along as he's had a lot of family issues, so he's not as far along as I thought he would be by now. So
Mhm.
he ended up hooking me up with this other tattoo studio, Rock Steady, and that's where I'm at right now.
Nice.
And yeah, I finally feel like I'm actually where I'm supposed to be, and it
Oh yeah.
feels that way.
That's a really
So
that's a powerful feeling. because
yeah,
because that'll implore you to do the best you can in your work. Either the morale's
right,
high and you can actually enjoy what you're doing, and and on a professional level. Because
absolutely,
I was gonna say, if you keep going to these places and you can't find it, it might just be better to start your own shop at this point and open it up,
yeah,
and then bring in the people that you want in your shop so that you're able to screen them beforehand. Do you see
yeah.
anything like that in your future, maybe?
I do. I guess like I really feel like at this point in my career, I still have a lot of like work to do on, my craft. I feel like by the time I open my own establishment, I want to be at a certain level. And I don't think I've made it to where I'm comfortable opening my own studio because I want to be able to give, the most to, apprentice or other artists or to the business that I can, and I just feel like I got a little more learning to do, but that's definitely something for the future.
Oh yeah. Well, I look
Yeah,
forward to that. That's
cool.
kind of part of our goal too. I want to open up a brick and mortar retail store for our
Mm.
magazine and apparel, and within that have a tattoo shop and a barber shop. I don't know when the hell that's going to happen or how far down the road that's going to be, but I see it and I'm gonna make it happen one day. So I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe at that time I'll hit you up. Maybe you come work in
yeah,
in the studio. I
that,
don't know.
that'd be dope. Yeah,
That would be dope.
man, your clothes are fire, bro, for
I
sure.
so this is it was the first series that we've done. We're gonna be doing a quarterly drop on it. Um, it's gonna be new. So
Mm.
like I said, like you probably heard before, no reprints on anything. Once they're sold out. If there's still stock available, they're still going to be available to purchase. But we're going to be pushing new ones every quarter. I think I went a little overboard on how many I bought the first time, so I'm going to throttle it back for the fall. And we're going to push some cool stuff out. But this upcoming magazine is called Below the Surface, and our apparel is going to be part of like the stealth collection. So
Awesome.
the magazine is gonna tie into like the deeper stories of our features, and really the unseen struggles behind them, and the apparel is gonna kind of just reflect that, right? So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. But yeah, we're running a sale right now too. We got $25 every t-shirt and all of our accessories are under that. So we're gonna be having a sale over the weekend. So if you know anybody that's interested, just let them
Oh
know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
$25
I'm definitely promote
t-shirts.
that.
Hell
I'm gonna
yeah.
stop in too, buy some.
Hell yeah. Well,
Definitely.
we appreciate that.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
so Zoom is yelling at me right now saying that I have 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes until our program's done because I'm on the free feature. I know. Whatever.
Cool. No,
So
I get it.
I do have a couple more questions before this gets wrapped up.
Hmm.
Uh, I think okay. I think this would be a good pivot. How do you want your work to influence the culture or the community that you come from, or have you given that any thought?
So, um, I think that I have the potentiality to, I guess, bring like a more dark style to, like, I guess, brighter concepts, whether it be like, some of the anime drawings that I'm doing right now, or like Geiger inspired creatures and stuff.
Yeah.
I really want to be able to like make the whole concept art and fantasy kind of style stuff like translate seamlessly into tattooing. I also want to like, kind of move into bigger pieces like full armed and stuff and tell more stories with my art.
Oh yeah, no,
So
I think that's super powerful. Well, something that you could do to leverage that on is social media. I mean, if you get like a piece drawn out that you really fuck with, why not post it on either a story or a reel and be like, "Would you guys rock this?" And then have a little like a link or something for bookings, and
yeah,
just so it gets pushed out that way. I mean,
yeah.
for stuff that you really want to get done, and I
Right.
think something like that would be cool. But hey,
And
I don't
that's
know.
why it's so important to find a place like a home base, you know what I mean? That way,
Yeah.
because I've been doing a lot of traveling lately. So, yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to try in the future.
Oh yeah. Sweet. So, okay, last question. If someone looks
Okay.
back at your name 10 years from now, what do you hope they would say?
Um, ooh, that's a deep one. I'd probably say that 10 years from now, I hope that, people can look back and see all the struggle I've been through, all the opposition, you know, and see that despite it looking and feeling like the world is against you at some points, you can still turn something positive out of that. And you can turn your life into something that you love waking up to do every day.
Oh
So
yeah. I love that. I love that. And that's all we can hope for, right? And
absolutely.
work towards it every day. Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate you so much for hopping on.
Oh, yeah, man.
Shout out your brand, where people can find you and where they can book, and the
Cool,
shop that
man.
you're at.
Absolutely. So I'm Drew. You can find me on Instagram at Drew Lawless, the number four, EVR. Um, Currently, I'm in between two studios, Rocksteady and Fort Collins, Colorado, and Black Matter Tattoo in Loveland, Colorado, which is opening pretty soon.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, man, just great things to come.
Sweet. Are people able to book through your Instagram directly, or
Yeah, so there's an appointment form in my links on my bio. You can follow that, and that'd be the best way to do a consultation or an appointment.
hell yeah. All right, cool, man. Well, is there anything else that you'd want to say before we hop off?
Mainly just thanks for having me, bro. I really like what you're doing, and
Thanks, man.
I'm just glad to be a part of it, you know?
Hell yeah. No, I mean we love every aspect of it. So we're here to tell people stories. It's not really about me. I want to do this for everybody. And I'm just glad that we could connect. And I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Well, if there's anything else you could think of, just shoot me a text, Instagram, or just regular messenger or whatever, and we can
Cool.
go from there. But if you want, I don't know if you have any like professional headshots,
Mhm.
or can get some done, but if you could, let me know so that we can get you in the magazine for our
Yeah.
next one.
Cool. Yeah, I'll
That
definitely do
sound
that.
good?
I'll text you. Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well,
All right,
thank you. I
man.
hope you have a good rest of your day and enjoy the rest of your weekend, man.
Likewise, brother. Have a good
All right.
one.
Peace.
Peace.